Hey church, Zach here, and I'm giving our Wednesday Devo in Holy Week. And here our passage is found in Matthew 26, verses 14 through 16. And so it says, "Then one of the 12, the man called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, 'What are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you?' And so they weighed out 30 pieces of silver for him. And from that time, he started looking for a good opportunity to betray him." You know, some scholars call this day in Holy Week Spy Wednesday because one of the 12, Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' 12 disciples, a man who no doubt saw every aspect of Jesus' life, from his getting up to going to bed to his care for the sick, the poor, every healing, every miracle, heard every sermon. And yet here we find that Judas harbored sin within his heart, enough to the point where he was willing to betray his master. You know, the Bible gives us a clue into Judas's life, and this was not just a sudden decision for him. He was the treasurer, and he was known to be to take some money off the top of the money bag when donations would be given to the life of Jesus. And so I really think that Judas gives us an example of a life of one who has undealt with sin, one who allows sin to harbor and fester in their life, and until it eventually leads to their demise, as we find later that Judas would hang himself because of the guilt of what he did. You know, and I want to ask us today, is there harbored sin in our life? Is there sin that we've held on to? Anger, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, gossiping, something that we just haven't given over to Jesus. We haven't come to him and confessed it to him and repented of it. Man, church, I want to encourage you today, give that sin over to the Lord, confess it to him, and watch his grace, his mercy pour out in you. Don't let that sin lead to death. The Bible tells us that you reap what you sow. If you sow to the flesh, you will reap destruction. But the opposite is true. If you sow to the Spirit, you will reap everlasting life. And so my prayer for us today is that whatever sin we might have been holding on to, that we wouldn't, like Judas, let it lead to our demise, but that we would give it to God. We would receive his forgiveness, his grace. He's eager to forgive, eager to pour his grace and his mercy on us, and that we would receive newness of life. God bless you, church. Have a great rest of your day.